All right, man. I don't do too many videos in the brass house anymore itself. Honestly, I never really chill in here anymore. I'm in here this morning because my wife woke me up at like 2:30 because an opossum got in my house, man. Or a possum. I don't know if it's opossum or possum. I think I know. But yeah, she woke me up. She's like, "There's a possum in the house," and I was like, "No, there's not." And she was like, "It's on the couch," and I was like, "Fuck." So I had to like get up and get this thing out with a broom, and it like chingulated my whole sleep schedule. So I'm kind of running behind this morning. But this is an important video. So I really think we've put all the pieces together where I've now got career paths here, man. I mean, like, I think we're going to be able to go from, crack house to brass house to penthouse here, dude. So I'm going to kind of, I've done my blueprint here for infinite sustainability in the past. It's not like, a rock solid plan or anything, but so things are going really well, like stupid well. So we're getting that hub situation and we're adding med gas to our deal. That's going to bring on a lot of work. Like we're going to have to start getting choosy. We're going to have to really pick and choose which ones we want until we can scale even bigger than what we are. But so Luis is coming on. I call him Lester. Luis is coming on in a couple weeks. And he's going to be like the prototype. Him and Randall are both going to be our project managers, right? And so what I'm going to do, and I'm telling you this because these are the career paths that are working around here. And I'm really excited about this because somebody can come to me with no knowledge of any of this shit. And, in a couple of years, you've got different career paths you can take, all of them leading to six-figure incomes, right? Like, and it's not like maybe you're more technical. Maybe you're more salesy. Maybe you're more back office. Maybe you're more of a manager. Well, there's positions. So check this out. So the project managers are going to be like kind of like the top of the construction side, right? And the way it's going to work is they're going to be issued jobs. And maybe this isn't how it works in other jobs. This is how it's going to work in my company. It's my company. I can do how the fuck I want, right? They're going to be issued jobs. And I mean, I do hundreds a year. But I'm going to price those jobs out. I'm going to give them a price of fixtures, material, and labor. And then it's their job. I'll give them the submittal and the plans and the quote for all that shit. And then it's their job to try to get that labor and material and fixture price down. They can try to see about submitting alternates. Because I can't do that shit. I don't have time to try to find alternate fixtures on every job I do. I just got to, whatever fixtures are on the schedule, I fucking quote that. I don't try to value it. I just quote it based off that right at the beginning. And that's how I'm going to keep doing it. But then I'm going to have the project managers try to get valued fixtures because like we're going to sell it for this price based off the high-end fixtures. But maybe we'll say, hey, a cheaper water heater may work in the situation. Hey, a cheaper sink will be just fine in this situation. Let's submit these less expensive ones. And you can end up saving a ton of money. And then that money saved the money saved on that cost of goods, they're going to get a bonus. Is going to go to the project manager and a superintendent if the superintendent has a project. We're not really going to use the superintendents on anything under like, $200,000 job, but it gives us, an apprentice can work his way up and, become a journeyman. And then once you're a journeyman, you can become a lead. From lead, you can, if you're a baller ass lead, you can become a superintendent. If you're, from superintendent, you can become a project manager. But more than that, we're gonna start building out like a business development team for the construction side. But I'm gonna come back to that later. But on the service side, so service is killing it, right? And the hub stuff is only gonna make it even better. And what's happening on that side is, we're building up service as it goes. But we want to get to a point where I have so many commercial customers. Like so many that we're going to have to start breaking this down into like account managers, right? So I talked to my HVAC manager and I've talked to the controller. We've got a hard plan to have HVAC by the next summer. We're giving ourselves 1 year, which is, I keep kicking the can down the road, but it's like, I keep growing so much here. It's hard for me to say like, oh, let me stop and invest in other things, But it's gonna, like I said, it's gonna take me about $350,000 to do HVAC. So we're trying to wait, and I need that like separate from my operational and other funds. It's got to be separate money. But so in the process, we should be able to get like 6 service guys and have Dustin running them by the time that we make this HVAC investment. Once we do make the HVAC investment, we're going to start out with 3 guys and a manager. That's why this is going to be so expensive. We're not just starting out like a guy who's a badass and build it up like I did with the plumbing. We're going to have to literally create this division in a fucking snap, you know? And all my customers want it. All my customers beg me to do HVAC, you know, because I am actually, like, even though I don't do HVAC, I'm fucking like, I'm a wizard. Like, I can figure shit out. Like, like, even and the guy I got coming over is the biggest wizard of all. In my opinion, he is the #1 mechanical mind in Dallas. I had lunch with him and a bunch of other dudes on Saturday. There's like 8 of us dudes all in the industry, mostly HVAC guys. And, God, this guy is the best, man. He is the fucking best. So once he's over, we're going to start building up these like account managers and kind of like a sales team where like, I think like the salespeople are going to be account managers too, to a degree, but they're going to help kind of they'll be given like, hey, you got these 10 service customers that bring in a ton of money. Your job is to manage these invoices, you know, kind of help manage, like if that, like that customer may call the office to schedule things. Like I got fucking phone lines at the fucking office and I got desk phones and shit for like Gina and Melissa. And there's like, you can like hit buttons to call different people and shit. But the customer may call the dispatch line to schedule shit, which is what they're supposed to do. But if they're having a hard time getting a hold of dispatch, for which should never happen, they should call the account manager right away. If like after hours is an after hour emergency, that account manager needs to be handling that, getting the on-call technician out to that fucking job, right? But from that, like from building that sales team, we also want to build a business development team for the construction side. So we're going to have a sales service team that's going to include account managers, like outside salespeople, because the account manager is like an inside sales, right? We're gonna have outside salespeople, which is like a business development. That's what we're calling that, business development guys. And their job is to go out and get us contracts. And there's gonna be other things they have to help us do in the office as well. But they're gonna get us contracts, hopefully HVAC contracts based off of like a formula, like per tonnage and location and where it's out. And then the account managers, once we start getting these contracts, they're gonna go through them and see like, hey, you know, there's 0 pull-through work on this maintenance contract. So if we're going to do this one next year, we're going to have to bump it up in price to make sure all our maintenances are hitting good. But if all those things line out, and I know I've dropped so much info on y'all. I know I have, and I'm kind of like still out of it this morning, so I shouldn't have made this video. But if all those things work out like they're supposed to be, there's going to be so many career paths here. You know, like a construction guy can end up as an account manager, could end up as a business development dude, you know. You could go, and there's gonna be managers on this shit too. Like as we get more guys, because I want like some managers, I want to be like a service manager, but he's more technical, right? Like he's not with all the paperwork and the sales and the pricing, but he's great at managing guys, great at, you know, solving the field problems, but he's getting old and you can't just work your tools forever, right? So we're going to have positions for those guys where it's like, I don't want to be a salesman. I'm an outdoor cat. I don't want to deal with these fucking people. Well, like I'm going to have positions for them to make a lot of money. If you are that, like that, you know, slick Rick, I could sell the devil on doing good. I got positions for you. If you're the type of guy that's like, you can actually manage a lot of fucking things at once and have real managerial capacity and prowess, I'm going to take advantage of that. And so I think with all these different avenues, I think I've really, and I'm not going to break down the executive pay structure, but all the people like Dustin, Gina, Lester, Randall, and, you know, the big dog whose name I cannot say because he's highly Googleable, guys. You could Google him and be like, no way, Dyson's getting him. No way. Once he comes, but I've got everybody's like pay structure. No one gets any ownership of the company besides one guy that's going to be like doing the HVAC. He's the only guy I've agreed that I will like draw into partnership, and it's a maximum of 10%, and it doesn't vest for 10 years. Or if I sell, you know what I mean? Because I don't want to deal with legal fucking problems, like someone like getting mad and quitting, and now I got to get a fucking attorney involved in shit and then buy you out. Fuck, you know. So no one's getting any kind of ownership, but like I do want to do like structured net bonuses, which I don't know why I'm telling you guys all this shit. I should probably not, but I'm going to say it anyway. So like what I want to do for these people, I want to turn this company into a trust fund for like all the the major talent people that have like been part of this with me, right? Because the ultimate goal is to build this thing up into a profit machine, and in like 10 years, 12 years, who knows how many years, sell this thing for a ton of money, right? A ton of fucking money. But on the way, what I've done is I've set up everybody with, like, I'm setting them up with like a structured bonus based off net profits. And, you know, we're going to be filing our taxes quarterly out of necessity. So I'll be able to, now, what I've told those guys, where this is a good deal and a bad deal, it's a bad deal because I'm not going to consider your bonus based off these net profits at all. I'm not going to consider, if I decide I want to buy 5 acres of land, I'm going to buy 5 acres of land. If I want to, whatever I'm doing with the money that we make, I'm going to do with the money that we make, and I'm not going to give a damn if it affects your bonus, right? So it sounds kind of shitty in that aspect. But if we're going to sell this sumbitch, which I fully intend on selling it once we get to the fucking moon, I mean, it may be 15 years, I'm going to have to show 5 years of hard profit, right? As much profit as possible. And if in your pay agreement you have a structured net bonus, well, I'm interested in paying you as much as possible to get those profit numbers up as high as possible to sell this company for as much as possible. So I feel like, even though, like, I do plan on, whenever I sell, I plan on keeping less than half the money from the sale and giving everybody else a big chunk too. So I want, that's my way of kind of turning this into a trust fund for those people. It's like, hey, if we're going to start selling, you're going to, like, if I'm giving away over half the net profits, and the company's bringing in 10 million in net profits a year, well, fuck, man, all those people getting those structured nets are really getting hooked up. But the only way we're going to get that hooked up is if I keep doing what I'm doing on the way, buying more shit, like not being a puss, not being stupid and not being a puss. And having the humility to fucking know that, like, I'm a real retard and I got to get some heavy hitters if I want to do this. So 12 minutes. You ain't going to watch this shit, mates. Brass house to penthouse.